Hola, bienvenidos, bienvenidos a la clase de español, bienvenidos a la clase de español. Hoy es lunes, es el 11 de enero. Hoy es lunes culto, el 11 de enero. Bienvenidos. Before you continue with this video, please remember you have some things to make sure you have done from last week. Today is our last day of trimester A. Actually, Friday was, I would say. And you had 2 projects due over Thursday and Friday. So make sure that you have your picture project in, 10 points, 5 sentences using an AR conjugated verb, and then an adverb saying when or how often that person does that thing. You're drawing a picture to represent that you know what you're saying, what you're writing. 10 points. That is step 2 from Thursday. That's where you submit that assignment. Step 3 from Thursday was the Flipgrid video that you need to complete. It is 4 points, the last and final grade from trimester A. You're talking about yourself, so everything should be yo and what I do and what I don't do. Again, you're conjugating AR verbs and telling me when you do those things. Always, never, sometimes, using an adverb. All right. So get those things done if you haven't. Also check the grade book if you haven't. Not just Google Classroom and that your assignments are done, but the grade book. And what things might still be a 0 for you that you could still complete. Make sure you send me an email about those things if you're going to turn something in that's new or that's overdue. Okay, lunes culto. Lunes culto, like you know, is cultured Mondays. We're learning about things that have to do with culture, but that's also an adjective. You could be more cultured by learning about things around the world and cultures around the world. So we learn about música. We've done a lot with music. Comida, food. We haven't done as much with food. We've done some things in class. Videos. We've watched plenty of videos that help us to understand Spanish. Bailes. We've seen some people dance. I don't know if we've learned any dances. We have that yet to do. And we've done some art, like Frida Kahlo and others. So today we're going back to comida. Comida is food. All right. So last week, you read about Enrique. Enrique was this kid in this video, and the video's here again if you want to watch it again. El Día de los Reyes was King's Day, if you didn't figure it out after the assignment last week. So, King's Day is Epiphany, also known as Epiphany, and that is celebrating the kings, the 3 kings, versus Jesus Christ's birth. Yeah. So, after watching that video, you will see that Enrique, I'm reading the last paragraph on your page, loves celebrating both traditions, Christmas and King's Day, with his family every year. And one thing that both cultures have in common, we put goodies in, or Santa leaves goodies in stockings and at Christmas time, and the kings leave goodies or candy in shoes on King's Day. And so chocolate, or chocolate, is a common thread. And today we're going to learn more about chocolate. And chocolate is a good cognate for us. Chocolate, this is what you might think of when you think of chocolate, right? If you go outside of the United States, chocolate might look more like this. You can see we have some of the Day of the Dead skulls made out of chocolate. You've learned about that. Abuelita is a brand of chocolate. And here's some different things that you might see if you weren't shopping for chocolate in the United States. So, chocolate is made from the cocoa bean. And in Spanish, we say cacao. Cacao. Here's what that looks like when it's growing. Here is where the chocolate is grown in the world. And again, chocolate is how we say it in Spanish. And that's a cognate. It's the same word, basically. You spell it the same. Here's what that cacao or cocoa bean looks like when you open it up and it's ready to go. Okay, so the Mayans, or Los Mayas, we call them in Espanol, lived in the area where Guatemala is. So that is in Central America, right about here below Mexico. That's where Guatemala is. So we're just going to learn a little bit more about how the Mayans used chocolate. They revered it, it says. That means they kind of thought it was awesome, thought it was really special. They used chocolate drinks in their celebrations, and it wasn't just for the wealthy and powerful, but almost everyone. Chocolate was enjoyed with almost every meal, and here is a picture of the typical drink that would be made from the cocoa bean, chocolatl. Chocolatl is actually where the word chocolate comes from. You can maybe see where that, it's a little bit of a stretch, but chocolate. Yeah. So it translates to bitter water. And they would mix cocoa beans, chili peppers, and water and just shake, 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 shake until it was frothy. And that's what it would end up looking like. This. And that is a typical Mayan chocolate recipe. Okay, just north of Guatemala in Mexico, we know where Mexico is. The Aztecs were the ones that lived in Mexico, or Los Aztecas in Espanol. So it says they took their chocolate admiration to another level. They thought chocolate came from the gods, and they obviously get a caffeine kick out of it. So they would enjoy it, but also use it as currency to buy foods and other items. Chocolate was almost, or cocoa beans were almost more valuable than gold, it says. Okay, and the famous Aztec ruler Montezuma was known for his chocolate love and for eating and drinking lots of chocolate. So a common and traditional Mexican recipe, which would come from the area we're talking about, where the Aztecs were, is mole. We say this mole. And mole, if you can look, maybe you can guess before we get there what this is. So it's chilies and spices and chilies like chili peppers, right? Like jalapenos or any kind of chili pepper like that, with tomatoes, and then chocolate added at the end of cooking. It's a bitter, more unsweetened chocolate, but so it's a mole sauce that's traditionally served over turkey. Yeah? All right, so I'm going to ask you later which recipe you'd like to try. Would you like to try chocolatl, like the Mayas, or mole, like the people in Mexico? All right. So, and this tells us a little bit about chocolate in España, or chocolate in España. So, chocolate got brought over to Europe, right? And it first arrived in Spain. So, this is the story of how chocolate came to be popular in Europe. All right. So, something else that happened in the history is this juego, or game, and this is the word we're going to work on this week, which is jugar, or to play. A juego is a game, and so patoli is a game that was played. It says one of the oldest known juegos in America. Yeah. And it was reported by the conquistadores, or the conquerors, that that the leaders would enjoy watching the juego play. You can see here this large board instead of the one you're going to see in the video. So it would be like gambling. You'd bet your stuff. You'd bet your cocoa. You'd bet your gold. You'd bet your, and it says here, even your homes or sometimes your family members, on this game that was played like in the main square. So juego is the word for game. Patoli is how we say this. I know that doesn't seem right with the LL, but again, we got to remember this is the language of the ancient people, not Spanish, is where this word came from. So, or the in. I'm trying to say the initial people. I can't think of the word right now. The native people. We'll just go with native. So Patoli, you can learn how to play this. I'm not going to show you all this. There's a video that shows you what it looks like, and here are the rules of the game. And the deal is you would use a bean, and that's kind of how you roll. You would mark the bean on one side, and then you're trying to get that amount on your roll. You would roll five beans at a time. So it's kind of cool. And that is how chocolate comes into it. Not only would they play with maybe the cocoa bean, but chocolate or cocoa beans would be the thing that they were betting or trying to win because it was so important to them. So once you're through with this slideshow, make sure you go and check the Google form and tell me a little bit about chocolate in your life, and then maybe some games that you might play too that would be perhaps similar, perhaps not similar to Patoli in your family. Okay, so hasta martes. We'll see you on Tuesday, and we'll be working with jugar, which is to play, and we'll be conjugating that like we did our AR verbs into different forms to say all the different types of games that we play this week. Okay, including sports, games or sports. Okay, hasta martes. Adios. Hasta pronto.